yeah. Welcome, fighters, to GranBlue Fantasy. Now, this is a game that I've been really excited to play ever since I first kind of saw it pop up on a channel called Coefficient. And ever since I saw it, the art looked really cool, the gameplay looked really solid. It's like a 2D fighter, and I had to have it in my inventory, and it just got released on PC yesterday. So I went and I picked it up, and I just goofed around, mostly in free training, a little bit in mission training, but I definitely wanted to share this game with you guys because, you know, I had to add this to my channel. It's just such a fun fighter. Also, if my voice sounds a little off, or if I sound a little sniffly, I apologize, but I am currently getting over a cold. And since everyone's panicking about like diseases and infections right now, the way I see it, what better thing to do than stay inside and play some video games. And with that, I wanted to go ahead and just give you guys kind of like a quick look of what this game is like, what can you expect from it, and see if maybe you're interested in it. Right now there's quite a few people online, there's thousands of players almost constantly, so if you're a little concerned with some games because of the smaller player base, you definitely don't need to worry about this one because it has quite a lot. And one of the favorite things I would like to showcase to you guys, if you've never played this game before, or if you haven't really played any 2D fighters before, is they do a lot to kind of teach you what this game is like and how to play in it. And they have really basic things that you can do here where they teach you all about defense, defending against various types of attacks, how to defend against cross-ups, what things like what's called your bread and butter, and how you just kind of get your common, like these are combos you should be able to do without even thinking about it kind of stuff. And they take you all the way until you get down to where you actually have to fight a PC. But this PC, I'll warn you right now, this dude's really hard, man. Like, if you're a noob at this game, like I am, man, he's like an insane, like, has no regard for life or decency. This guy kicks your butt. So, I've managed to beat him 4 out of 5 times, and that's enough for me right now. But I'll go ahead and just give you a quick example of what it looks like, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Gran versus Gran.
Also, I'll go ahead and I'll explain and show who the characters are right after this, so that you can actually see who's in it and who might be interesting to you. But here we go. Here's an example of the training mode. So it tells you right off the bat, perform an auto combo. So there's no rush, there's no time limit. You're pretty much just using the D-pad, as you can see down there on the bottom left. And then you have your buttons, your bumper, and then your trigger. I'm using an Xbox One controller on PC for this. And it says, attack at close range. When next to opponent, press X, Y, or B. And I'll go ahead and show you. If you press X, it's just kind of like a light attack. Y is like a medium attack. And B is like a heavier attack. But you could do either one of those 3 times or mix them up. Like this one I'll do X, X, X.
Good.
You can see how that works. And then as you see there up on those blue diamonds, it's kind of just under my profile picture up there. So they actually expect you to be able to do this roughly 5 times. So that way you feel like you get to do it over and over and over again. And that way also if you get it wrong, you understand, you know, what you did wrong, so you can kind of move forward. So now I'll do Y, Y, oops. Or you could do like X, Y, B, like that. And that's Y, Y, Y. And then B, B, B.
Good. Finish.
So there you go. So that's kind of an example of what they do and what the training is like. So it's pretty cool. And for a lot of these missions too, you can also change who you play as. So you can actually do these with the particular character you want to play, which I also think is pretty cool. And of course they do this with skills, where you go through all the different abilities that they have, combo practice, learning your matchups. There's so much that they go through to show you here to make sure that if you're new, you at least have a good understanding of what you're getting into. So I'll go ahead and head over to free training just so that you guys can kind of see what the roster looks like. So the roster right now is pretty small, and from what I know about GranBlue Fantasy is it's based on a mobile game, a Japanese mobile game, I think, and I've never played this mobile game, so I can't really tell you who these characters are, but at least this is an idea of who you've got. So this is Gran. I believe he's kind of like the main character in the game. So he's just kind of straightforward. He's a bit spunky. He kind of like rolls all around the place because he's still like learning how to be, I guess, like the hero. And then if we just move to the left, we have Fairy, and she's kind of like a zoning character. She uses a whip, so she likes to keep her enemies at range, and she uses a lot of kind of like projectile type and almost like bomb set type attacks, where she'll place and throw something out on the ground and it'll wait and then it'll detonate after a period of time. So if you like zoning characters, this is the character for you. We got Narmaya here. She's actually a DLC character, so she doesn't come with the standard roster, but she's kind of like a short swordsman. Think of like a samurai, but she's very quick. She's all about having different combos going between two different stances that she uses. So this is a really high skill cap character. If you're gonna play this character, you really gotta have the fundamentals down. And I've seen some pretty crazy good play with her. And then we got Lancelot. This guy is he uses dual daggers, so he's all about getting in there, mashing buttons, getting combos in as quickly as possible. So he's basically just get in there and do some damage. And then you got Percival, and this guy, as you can see from his sword there, he's got this big red flaming sword, and his attacks are a bit slower and more deliberate, but he actually has an ability to power up his attacks while you're playing. So you can actually make his attacks stronger as the game goes on, and it changes their effects and how they like travel across the screen and stuff like that. It's very cool. And then you got Catalina. She's kind of similar to Gran in the sense that she's kind of like a standard player, but she's very defensive. She has a long rapier, so she's much better at like poking and keeping people at range. She's considered one of the more balanced and easy to learn the game with characters. And so far, Catalina is probably the character I feel the best with right now. I'm really enjoying playing as her. You got Metera here. Metera or Metera, I've heard it pronounced both ways, but she's an archer. She's basically all about frustrating your enemies, keeping them at range, making sure that they can't get close to you. And she's also like the moaning character, so be prepared to have your parents come in the room at the wrong moment when you're playing against her. You got Lowain here. He's also kind of a dual dagger user, like this character here, Lancelot, but he's kind of like a joke character. All of his stuff is really silly and goofy, and he has like these bros that come out and turn him into like a human pyramid. It's really funny. I haven't gotten to play him too much, just a little bit, but he's pretty silly. But he's kind of like Dan, if you've ever played Street Fighter. He's kind of like that kind of character, but he can be incredibly good, so don't let it go past you. We got Vasaraga here. I have not played him, but I know that he is the biggest, the slowest, and probably one of the highest damage dealing characters in the game. He's kind of like, if you're from DOA, think like Bass, or just a really big character. He's slow, he's methodical, very intimidating. So if you like playing big dudes that just hit very few times but hits like a truck, this is the guy for you. We got Zeta. She's a Lancer user, so she's very mobile. She likes using her moves to kind of move her across the screen and get in there and do damage. From what I've seen, she doesn't always have the best defensive options, but she has really good mobility, so In a way, she kind of reminds me of Ayane in the sense that she can kind of control where she is in the game a little more easily than other characters, but you'll have to be careful on your defense with this character. Charlotta is the definition of small. She's adorable, and she's kind of like, everyone calls her the Unga Bunga character because she's like a button masher, and you just get her in there and just try and do as many damage combos as you can. And she's adorable and funny, and I've played her a bunch, and I do enjoy playing as her, but you know, she's adorable. We'll just leave it at that. And then you have La Diva, I believe, and so far I haven't gotten to play this character. I haven't seen anyone play this character, but they're kind of like a wrestler, they're a grappler, so think like Bayman. But this is actually, if I know this correctly, this is actually a female character in game. They refer to this character as a she, so I don't know if it's like a race thing or if it's just something about the character from the story in the game. I just don't know. Then that's that. Sorry, I don't have too much I could say about them, but I do know that their attacks and their moves are very good, and they're also kind of hilarious. They have some silliness to them, so I'll probably give them their due. And let's see here. I could go ahead and I'll pick up... Yep. We got Charlotta on one side, we got Catalina on the other. I'll go ahead and set the color to default. You can also change your weapon skin too. So as you play the game, you'll actually unlock weapon skins and use different weapons. And then for player 2, we'll go ahead and put them as Catalina, so you can kind of see that character too. And yeah, let's just go here.
Charlotte versus Catalina.
Alright, so this is basically just free training, and also, can I just say that the art and the backgrounds and the music is just so good in this game. Like, just listen to that violin, dude. And the drum solo. Yeah, it's so good. They did a great job with this game. So as you can see, this character is very small. And her attacks though, just as she's small, as you can see, like, you gotta be really close for it to work. And the cool things about your attacks, if you actually see under your HP bar, there's a couple icons up there with like a backwards, a down, and a forward button. So if you're playing on an Xbox controller like I am, if you hit the right bumper, it does that the button all the way to the right, and normally it's a projectile. But for someone like Charlotta, it's actually an invincible, but it's kind of like an up-down attack. And then if you hold Y or B when you do it, you'll get like a charged up or like a powered up version of that attack. If you press forward, it'll do that type of attack. And the same way, if you hold Y or B when you do it, it'll kind of give you like a gold powered up version. And normally those all have cooldowns, and if you use the powered up version, it will actually put a longer cooldown on it. So you have to be careful. You really got to know when you're going to use certain attacks. And then of course you got this one, which is awesome, and then yeah. And then of course, you got your supers. Let's see if I can get mine out here. There we go. So like that's one. It's pretty much like a quarter circle forward, right bumper to make them go. It's the same for pretty much everybody. And if you have your HP, I believe at a certain point, you can do what's called like a skybound art, where it does like a very, very powerful version of that attack. Let's see, I don't think I can get it. Nope, not quite. There we go. Boom. So it's like Arturia from Fate Grand Order, or just like Fate Stay, just the Fate series. It's Excalibur. And she's like, so you got specials, you got combos, and each character's is a little bit different. So let's go ahead and head back to the main menu. Of course, I don't want to go too far in depth into everything because I want to keep this video kind of short, but the art is amazing. The buttons are very simple, very straightforward. It's not complicated to learn the combos. They do a lot to teach you how to play the game. They don't necessarily hold your hand, but they really make sure you know what's going on and that you understand the fundamentals. And they have a lot of different characters that all play different ways. And, you know, they are bringing out even more characters soon, so there's going to be even more to see. And of course, they have a complete story mode they call RPG mode. You got versus modes, you can play with your friends, arcades, you can just go up against the PC, and then of course there is online. I haven't done any online matches yet. I still want to practice a bit before I do that, but I'll definitely post them here whenever I do. So with that, fighters, that's pretty much GranBlue Fantasy for now, just to get things started. Let me know if you're interested in this game, if you guys are playing it or plan to play it. I would love to find more people to play with online and just on this channel in general. And, you know, I hope that you're all also staying safe, being careful around, you know, with all this virus and stuff like that. Please don't buy 8 million pallets of toilet paper. Let other people use the bathroom. And with that, as always, fighters, I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep fighting, fighters.